evening from Geeks of the Round. I am Mr. Brundle to you, and this is Geeks of the Round discussion of the Blacklist. I've already said Geeks of the Round, and I also said the Blacklist. Very, very racist. Let's move on to our panel. Isaiah Mullins, hello.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Can I not say words? And look how racist I am. I don't even let the black guy have a word. I just cut him right off.
I know, right?
I'm not saying words well today. Charles, what are you doing there with your mouth?
I was yawning, so.
What are you doing with your mouth?
What are you doing with your mouth?
Mine is closed. Closed. It's like fucking wrong with your mouth. Shit. All right. Let's talk about mouths. Let's talk about Lizzie's mouth. They obviously want you to look at her very sexually. She's never not in her panties. What's up with that?
Yeah, I noticed that there was a lot of panties showing in this episode.
Yeah, I could give no fucks. Like, oh man, look at that nice ass. That's a really nice ass.
Well, I don't really think Elizabeth Keene is that attractive, to be honest.
I don't care either. It's like she has a nice ass, and her ass is better than her face.
I don't know. She kind of has that Miley Cyrus dead chicken or raw chicken ass. Well, dead raw.
Hey, but when she has black underwear on, it's
Twerkless, yeah.
Yeah, she's got the twerker's cough.
Yes. Hey, I could give two cares. This episode was so fucking boring.
All right.
I gotta go with Isaiah on this. There was nothing special about this episode. Do not do the jazzed hands again, Isaiah.
Then all right. You guys can tell me all about how bad it was, because I actually have a question. Do you even know what the scimitar was about? Like, what this week's Blacklister? What was he all about? Because I didn't even notice it, which I kind of think is a good thing, and I'll explain what I think was good about it after you guys tell me what was all bad about it, after you answer my question of who the fuck was the scimitar, what was he?
Well, I can explain this easier. He's a contract hitman that puts hits out on people who kill like others, like very important people, like a scientist or a dictator or whoever it may be that a government actually planned a hit on. So they plan like a revenge, like eye for an eye, and get that person who actually did the hitting, not the person who's like ahead of them who actually did the targeting.
Any of this? I watched the episode. Yes, I was very.
That's not who the scimitar was. The scimitar is the way they explained it is that 1 part hitman, 2 parts con man. I think is what they called him.
So that's, again, like
he didn't go after people that committed hits. He was contracted. He was contracted by the Iranian government to get that doctor to bring her over to Iran to help them with their nuclear program.
Or kill that person.
And to kill her. But that's what he does. He was contracted by the Iranian government to acquire a resource. That's what he was. How
I see it is more fun compared to what the story said, because it was kind of really, really boring. Like, I don't give a fuck.
It must have been boring, because nothing you guys are saying do I recall. I recall everything else about the episode, about Red and Lizzie and that girl and Berlin and
it probably shows up too. Like, what the fuck? Like, dude, really, Berlin?
I remember nothing about the scimitar.
Right.
The scimitar.
Again, no one cared. Literally, no one cared.
It's an Arabic weapon. It's a sword. It's a curved sword.
Ha! Good one, Charles.
I just had my finger on that drum roll. I know you wait just a few seconds and anything can be turned dirty. Curved sword.
I said sword.
We know you said sword.
You said curved sword.
What a scimitar is. Which is what a scimitar is, a curved sword.
So is it curved to the right or the left?
I'm going to shut up now.
Sorry, is it curved to the left or the right?
You know what? I don't care anymore.
I think it's both.
Let us thank our executive producer, Deano Jackson, for giving us permission to use these Google effects. And let us thank Google for finally being able to handle their own simple damned effects.
Yes.
Hangouts on air.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the stuff that the only part in the episode that I thought was remotely interesting was the stuff going on with Reddington and the woman at the food truck.
All right, let's jump to that in 1 second. Basically, let's just end our conversation on the scimitar. Him and his curved sword, to me, were pointless, and I agree.
It didn't hit the base at all. It didn't hit no base because it was so curved.
It was a baseless, boring, dull thing, and I don't recall a second of it.
I was waiting for the sex to be over. Like, is it over now? Is it over? Is it over?
Although the opening scene of the episode where the Iranian Mossad agent was talking to that guy in Dubai, that was actually a pretty interesting scene, to be honest.
I thought it was too flashy.
I didn't really care for it because it was just like.
Well, there was one thing that I did kind of notice that seemed a bit off, is that they were in Dubai, and from what I understand, being all that quote unquote affectionate towards each other, I didn't really think was socially acceptable in Dubai.
It is, because Dubai, Indonesia, and other types of Middle Eastern countries are a little bit more moderate than what you say from Afghanistan, Pakistan, Iran, and Iraq.
But they're still Arabic countries.
Yeah, but
they're very traditional.
But they got more range, though. They got a little bit more flexibility. Not a lot, but a lot of flexibility.
All right, and you know what? I'm going to shut up right now because I think I'm starting to make myself look like a racist.
You didn't know, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's what you got a black guy for.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Dubai is the setting of the final page of my new book coming out in the next few days, Meet the Mosleys Book 2. That was a perfect time for that.
You deserve a golf clap.
Yes. All right, so let's move on to what you were just saying about that, the one thing you found interesting, which I wanted to say, that's what I liked about this episode. I liked that I totally forgot about the Blacklist here because I could give two shits about them. I think they should not be every episode. I think, I think this show personally should focus on the drama that it has, and it should let itself fly. Yeah. Do that for 3 to 4 episodes, or even every 2 to 4th episode, pop in a Blacklister. You know what I mean? But not every freaking has to be tethered down format, and it's bothersome. So this one. The thing was drowned out because I enjoyed this drama, which was interesting. So let's get into it. What do you guys make of that scene?
Well, with Reddington and the food truck girl.
And what we now know, spoiler alert, Berlin's daughter.
I saw that coming too. I'm just saying, like, because how she said, like, well, my father was the evil man and blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, that's Berlin's daughter.
Well, remember that at first, when they first introduced that woman, we suspected that it might have been Keen's sister, that it might have been that she might have been Reddington's daughter, just like Keen was. So I wasn't really expecting her father to be Berlin, to be honest.
Yeah.
But now we got covered. I was gonna say, like, there's only been one.
But then of course, Reddington was looking at Berlin and said, "You know what? I don't know what. Is this the daughter you're talking about? Because she's not my daughter." Yeah. And I thought that was cool.
There was a lot of verbiage in there, or whatever you want to call it. That scene may or may not have said something, because when he said his exact words, and they're important, his exact words were "fuck," not "fuck." That's the title of another new book I just published. Fuck. 420 pages, over 1,000 words, all of them. Fuck. $14.99.
It's just like The Shining.
Or rottinghorse.com. But back to the black. There was something specific he said. You know what? I'm gonna look it up. You guys can speculate on that more because we really got to boil down what he said because he may have said Lizzie's his daughter.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
they worded it in a way that it's not sure, but I have a reason for it, and if I can get the right words, I got it. So yeah, you guys and I will.
Right. It was a good episode. It took forever to get to that point. I mean, it literally did because, like Charles said, the good points was Red and that lady at the food cart, which is true. That was the only best scene until we got to the very. I mean, I'm not kidding to you folks. The very end of the fucking episode was like, oh my god, we had to go through so much bullshit to get to this. I mean, really, because remember when I talked about like wrestlers having a drug problem? That was like done over. Like, wait, that's over with already? So he
Well,
kicks that.
it's not over with. They just touched on it, and you know they'll return to that.
To be honest, I'm happy that the whole touching on the drug thing in this episode being minimal. I'm happy about that because that whole arc is complete bullshit.
You
I
know,
still hope you were gonna say touching on wrestler. I'm so happy.
no, but how to end it was complete bullshit. Because how does not the FBI does not know he has a drug problem? As a matter of fact, him dumping down the pills doesn't mean jack shit to someone who has an addiction.
Come on, Isaiah. Like, they probably don't know about wrestlers' drug problem, but that's just because the FBI in the Blacklist is a sack of idiots.
Okay, sack of idiots is saying like Bush. That's too much nice. They are so stupid that they can't fix a light bulb.
Incompetent fools. Incompetent.
They can't fix a light bulb in a socket without Red's help. Like, hey Red, how you put a light bulb in this socket again? Oh dear God, really? I'll get a ladder, I'll pull it in, pull it out, and there you go.
All right, this is something that I do need to bring up. It's what Lou Rod had said. Lou Rod had said that what's going on between Reddington and Berlin, how, like he said, that this is a massive misunderstanding. He's saying that they're probably going to bring in the person who is pulling the Berlin and Reddington strings for the season finale.
Or mid-season, you mean, right? The fall finale?
That's what I was about to ask. I mean, Lou Rod, do you think that this is going to be that's going to happen in the mid-season finale, or is it going to be the main season finale? Yeah. And I'm going to wait for you to respond.
I will vote mid-season. That will be my vote.
Yeah.
What about the review while we wait?
We already know who it is. It's the guy who Red be talking to all the time. There's whole elites at the round table, like, we are the elites. We control the world, like Illuminati or the founders or whatever it may be. So,
well,
it's true.
I don't think it's going to be the quote-unquote Illuminati. I mean, we all say it was the Illuminati, but it's not the Illuminati. As far as we know, they don't even have a name.
That's the point.
You know what? Maybe they will. Maybe it will. Allen all that they bring back. But it's definitely next episode. It's got to be.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm still waiting on Lou Rod's response. I want to know what he thinks about this.
Is it no main season?
Well, so far in the meantime, I will say I'm not finding the exact quote. It says, "I swear, I did not kill your daughter." This isn't my note. See, they're not saying all the words, and it's really. As soon as we're done with the hangout, I'm gonna remember. But
yeah, but I mean, there was so many bad moments. It's like, okay, we can start with this: Elizabeth King and Tom.
I was just about to say, is that a bad moment? I think it was a filler. Back to what Lou was saying and everybody else is saying. This has been a filler episode, sure. But you know what? It's funny. It's a filler episode with possibly the biggest bomb of the series yet.
Well, maybe so, but
I don't know.
She cannot act tough. She cannot act tough whatsoever. I'm sorry, she can't.
The scenes that I was going to bring that up. The scenes that was going on between Elizabeth and Tom was complete bullshit on both of their parts. I mean, Tom was just stupid during the whole thing, and Keen was trying to be tough, and she was failing horribly.
I know.
it was like one of those situations where you see an actor do a scene and they do a scene so bad, they do the scene so bad that it's like, wait a minute, I mean, do they even want to be in that scene? Do they? I don't know. It's like, do they even want to be there? I mean, that's
No.
that's what I know. I mean, I don't know. It's just I am not liking. I really don't like Keen. I don't, especially during that scene between her and Tom, because that was probably the worst moment of the entire episode.
It was because I could not. It was just hard for me to actually feel like, oh, she's a badass. No, she's not. Like, here's a good example. I watch Homeland. It's hard for me to get catch back up, but the main actress, Carrie, she's a real badass. She doesn't really show in her voice. She does it with her actions, and from her actions, it goes with her voice. So she got more bite than bark. And Elizabeth, she's all bark but no bite. She's just like, oh my god, I'm gonna make you starve. Oh no, I'll leave you in the cold. Like, no, you won't. Tom knows it too. Like, no, you won't. You pretty much want to fuck me again and be done with it, don't you? Yes. You do. Yes.
I don't know if you noticed, but I just fell out of this hangout. The thing completely shut down on me, so thanks for pointing me out, Isaiah.
Hey, you turned black on me out of nowhere. Like, what? He turned black on me.
Well,
Inside.
Lou Rod brought up something about Elizabeth being in the fake hospital room and the nails that she was pulling out of her arm. What was up with that?
That was to keep her arm from being moving. It was like pins in certain spots to make it
Pressure points.
Yeah, to make it appear that she was broken.
That's
Did you guys?
bullshit.
I like that. That's not bullshit. That was a clever thing.
The scene in the hospital room, I did not hate. I actually thought I suspected it to be fake from the start when they were first in there, because I mean they wouldn't have just left them in the SUV. They wouldn't have. I mean they wanted them to get information on who they were going to go after. So I thought that was smart on the Scimitar's part, and I thought that it was a good scene. But it was the only good. It was the only good scene during the Scimitar arc. It was the only good scene.
Okay, how about this? The Scimitar is so stupid that he leaves the phone, like, actually active, that Elizabeth King actually called the FBI. I mean, seriously.
They did that on purpose. They did that on purpose.
Did they get anything? Did they get anything?
Yes, they did, because Elizabeth Keene mentioned that doctor's name, which is who the Iranians were looking for. They didn't know who she was. They just knew that it was some nuclear scientist that they needed. They didn't know her name, so they had the FBI lead her to them.
But that's even more confusing because they didn't really put in broad words. Like, she told the bad guys where the person was. Like, okay, that could have been easily explained. Why can't you guys do that in the fucking first place? It's like, what's so hard to make some things a little bit more detailed? It just made no sense.
Yes, and I got to bring up something else that Lou Rod had said, saying that, I mean, don't you find it funny that she was brought on to read people, but she acts like a wannabe badass? That actually brings up something that I remember that I completely forgot from the first season, was that she originally went into the FBI to be a profiler, just a profiler.
What the fuck is she doing on the field? What is she doing on the field?
So I'm like, yeah. It is pretty damn funny. It's like, yeah, she's not a profiler anymore because she can't read people for shit.
Basically. And also, she tried to lie to Red. It was so funny how Red, like, really? You're trying to lie to me? I'm the guy who's king of lying. You just like, oh no, Tom's dead. No, he's not. Stop lying to me. They're full of shit.
Yeah, he knows he's alive.
Yeah, like, come on now. Red is not stupid with Oliver. Oliver's a complete dumbass. Red, he's a smart guy. He's very smart. Like,
Reddington is better at reading people than Elizabeth. Elizabeth can't read a freaking paper bag.
No, paper bag is too easy. She can't read a fucking rock. Like, what is this rock thinking? I don't know.
Could have gotten when she can't read Highlights magazine.
Basically, she can't read nothing. Heck, she can't read a porno. There you go. She can't read that.
A porno. Okay.
Yes, I was an old school way of saying it.
Yeah. A porno.
Oh god, that's terrible.
Well, you know what? Again, yeah, maybe it is like Lou Rod says here. Maybe it is because she's been hanging with Red, and she's becoming like a killer in training. She's taken. Yeah, maybe.
But she's not really convincing though. She's not. She has to convince to me that she can do this and this without Red Team's help. She can do this and this without the FBI's help. She can do this and this.
Definitely not convincing. She looks too vulnerable, like almost like a scared. Like when in those scenes with Tom, she looked like a scared animal. I thought.
Right.
You
Like Tom wasn't scared at all. He was like, "Come on now." He actually did like this, like, "You're not gonna kill me. You're not gonna do nothing like that. Come on."
It's even weirder when I say scared animal because I know what she's going for because I read something where spoiler alert. She said in some interviews that she's Elizabeth is gonna question certain feelings about Tom and about how, there's gonna be a dynamic there. So she's sort of playing right now. She's giving us an idea that she's confused about her romantic feelings, but I don't know. That's just like if that's the face she makes when pondering her love life. I don't know. It's just
awful.
Creepy. Like
yeah, and also she tried to raise her voice to like, "Oh no, Tom, where is the name, Tom?" It's like, really? That's how you say your deep and dramatic voice? Really?
Tom's way too clean. That beard is just way too fat.
It's too clean. It's like, man, that's a clean beard, motherfucker. Did she bathe you? Did she feed you your food? What's going on, dude? Is this beard?
That big guy, mate.
Right.
Full punishment. Hey, speaking of the big guy, what was he saying? Like there was some tunnel rats or purple vermin or some shit. Something was trying to attack the boat and he fought them off.
He held them off. It was an inspection, probably from the Coast Guard.
Okay.
Hell.
Yeah. I think he mentioned the word inspection and that he tried to hold them off as much as he could, but he said that eventually it's going to become a bigger problem.
Okay, why can't you use your FBI skills, Elizabeth, and just get them away? What can't you do?
Because if she uses her FBI skills, that gets the attention of her superiors. This is all off books. This is all off.
Again, her superiors are stupid. So let's be honest, they can't catch nothing. They can't catch dick. So it's like, wait a minute, is this something? Oh no, okay.
Yeah, I agree with Lou Rod with what he said. Is that in the scenes with Tom and Elizabeth, she was trying too hard. It was like she was forcing the aggression, forcing the attempted hard assery, and
forcing that's natural.
She was not. I mean, you never try to force being a hard ass. You don't. It's because you're just going to make yourself look like an idiot, and that's what Elizabeth King did. She made herself look like an idiot.
Right. Copy Homeland. Copy Homeland's main character. She become a hard ass. Well, it's just natural to her. She just does things without even thinking about it.
Well, I wouldn't know because I haven't watched Homeland, so.
I know you suck. Anyways. Yes, copy her style. Copy her style, and you're done.
First diversion. We've gotten episodes without diverging from the subject. Are we getting better at these discussions, or are our shows getting better?
Both.
Well, I think we're going to. I think in regards to Blacklist, for this season we are starting to go down the same route that we went down with American Horror Story Coven, where it started out great, and then it went down a downward spiral where it pretty much got to the point where in our hangout discussions we didn't talk about the episode, we just talked about how much we hated the season.
No. The worst one was when me, Todd, and Deanna and Matt were talking about Dexter. Oh dear God.
Oh, that never happened. That never happened, and I'm gonna
see right there, folks.
Post right here, and just so that those words are never spoken, like Voldemort. Who's gonna say? And I want to know because I have two questions. One, where the hell is she getting the money to pay for Big Boy, and that storage? And now apparently a fucking boat? Where does Elizabeth Keene get the money for a big-ass tugboat? And wasn't it in a building the last few weeks, or did I...
No, it was in the boat. It was in the boat the whole time.
Okay, I
The whole
told
time?
you how I missed that, but I did.
It was the boat the whole time. I mean, initially I did think that it was a boat. I mean a building. But as soon as it revealed it to be a boat, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
But it's bullshit though. Like really?
No, it's just in the first scene that we saw, with Elizabeth Keene in that rusted room staring at the door. I understand that buildings would have rust in them in rooms like that. However, every single wall, every single staircase was metal. That usually isn't the case in buildings. Usually, it would make more sense to be in a boat, especially with the abundance of rust. It would have had to have been something that was a boat.
But there's a problem behind that too, because again, there's no illusion that tells like, oh, this is a boat. No, I feel like it's just around a building somewhere.
Whether it's a building or a boat is irrelevant. What matters is that what Lou Rod had brought up, saying like, how in the living hell is Elizabeth Keene getting the money to pay for the boat as well as Big Boy?
No, that's.
I think boat versus building does even more matter for the money question because okay, she could rent or she could have found her some kind of a building, not too expensive, but to rent a boat like that, man, that's even more than the security. Let's just assume the big dude owns the boat and it's part of the package.
I want to know who the big boy is. I want to know how does Elizabeth know him? I mean, is he...
Again, because she's just a profiler, right? What does she really have access?
Actually, she knows him, the Big Boy food restaurant. That's how she knows him.
What?
Big Boy restaurant.
Wrestler?
No, the restaurant. Big Boys.
Frisch's Big Boys.
There you go. And also, I have one last question to ask you guys. How in the hell can she go to work and go on the boat and do other things with Reddington? Like, it's like, really, there's no way in hell you have enough time and energy for that shit. It's like, it's just confusing as hell.
Here's my speculation right now. Elizabeth Keene is a Terminator. She is a Terminator T-2000.
Well, they did.
I think she's a teleporter.
The Blacklist will change.
No, she's a teleporter. She's a mutant. Yes, she is a mutant.
Mutants still need to sleep, man.
Please.
You know what? I was going to kick into our wild speculations with Lou Rod's comment that next week's show looks to focus on Tom and Lizzie for a boring reason and like filler. But now I'm thinking it's the mid-season finale. They said it's going to change everything we know. I think next episode, I thought he was right. I was gonna bring it up and agree, but now I've changed my tune, and I think next week's episode is going to be really exciting. And unless anybody has any more points they want to hit, you guys want to get the...
Don't believe the hype. It's just going to be like, oh, we're going to have a big revelation. No, it's not. No big revelation. Really? Really? Fuck you.
Well, then what's your speculation? Speculate onto what next episode will be.
My speculation, my speculation is actually going to be focusing more on Reddington and Berlin. Now that Berlin knows that his daughter is alive, I think that Berlin is still going to harbor a hatred for Reddington. He's probably going to find some other reason to want him dead, but it's not going to be because of his daughter. But I think that Reddington is going to try to maybe get Berlin to team up with him, so they can go after the guy that is pitting them against each other. And I think that when they get the guy who's manipulating them is over, Berlin is going to try to kill Reddington and going to fail, and Reddington is going to kill Berlin.
That's a good speculation. It really is.
Yeah.
From my speculation, I would just say... I'll piggyback those, but I think Berlin's gonna pretty much be done with his revenge type bullshit. Like, because you didn't kill my daughter, okay, she's alive. Well, damn, I got nothing else to be mad at. He has to be mad at the pretty much people who Red works for, which is like I forgot their freaking names. I'll just call them the Illuminati, for example. And because they're the ones pulling the strings the most. Red and Berlin are just the middle guys. They take care of the dirty work. They don't know any better. The big people up top don't get their hands dirty whatsoever. So if Berlin and Red team up, it's gonna be pretty much bad for business for them. So they got to bring out the badass military dudes like Blackwater. Like, let's go kill them. But now we're going to Tom Elizabeth. Yay.
Oh, wait. Before you do that, can I interrupt to kind of agree with what you just said? Is that, it's got to be that way, because if this is just another faction, like, if it's not the people pulling the strings who are manipulating it, then they're abandoning that because they haven't touched on it at all. So they've got to bring that element back. But go ahead with your Tom and Lizzie, or whatever. Yeah, Tom and Lizzie.
Yeah, Tom and Lizzie. They act better.
Great. Thanks so much, Isaiah. Are we going to move on to Charles now?
I already gave my speculation.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Shit, I was just trying not to do... Oh, well, you know what? Lou Rod's got one. That Red will tell Lizzie he is the father. And I wish I'm going to be so bothered. I'm going to go back and watch it and find out. But he said something. When I wasn't paying attention to you, Charles, I should have been thinking about this. No, I was probably thinking about fucking... I don't know. I don't know what I think about.
Gumdrop fairies from the Lollipop Guild?
Thank you. That's what I was looking for. All my head was saying was unicorns, but I'm like, I never think of unicorns. That's a misrepresentation of myself.
Yeah.
But, okay, so my speculation is basically both of yours plus Urod's. Honestly, that's literally my
Thief! You stole my speculation, you thief!
No, he's not a dick. He's a phony. He stole her stuff like a phony.
He's a phony.
You know what?
Fat phony.
Just he kind of sparked a thing.
Yeah.
About what if it's someone in the U.S. Senate pulling the strings? And I've been saying Alan Alda is a higher up. That's the guy who, in last season we saw a few times is somebody that is in charge of whatever Red's involved with. And I think we're going to get next episode, we're going to see a State of the Union address, and he'll come out, the vice president. I'm still saying he might be president, but you guys have convinced me that he's probably more likely chief of staff or secretary of state. But I'll even say vice president maybe.
He might be president though.
We're going to find that out next week.
Yep.
I think. What were you saying, Isaiah? That's why I stopped talking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, if he was president, that would be really, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so. So what else you guys got?
I got nothing. I have nothing else to say about the episode.
I wish it was better.
Yeah. Oh, well, there is one thing. The scene where Wrestler and Keen were taking that guy to safety, and then Scimitar's guys were on the motorcycle and threw the flashbang into the car. When the car flipped, it was a mix between the actual flipping of a real car and terrible CGI. It was a mix of the two. And I gotta say, how in the bloody hell do you mix practical effects with horrible CGI? How does that?
How the hell how can a flashbang make a car flip? That's the one that I can't understand.
No. The flashbang itself didn't make them flip, because the only way you can flip a car is if the driver quickly turns the steering wheel in a certain direction and causes it to flip. They did that.
They stop or die?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert on car physics, man. I mean, come on.
I know, but come on. Wrestler was a drug. He should have seen that come
that's what this whole season, the whole drug addiction was leading up to the reason for why.
Besides, Wrestler wasn't driving. Keen was.
Damn it.
Well, okay. She's a terrible driver then.
Yeah. Yes. That goes on your record, Miss Keen, for wrecking another FBI vehicle.
Yeah, however, she has a nice ass. That's the only thing I have to say.
Okay, whatever. I don't know what the hell that guy's talking about. Okay.
You know it's true, folks.
need to rewatch that scene and find out, was it a Miley Cyrus twerking chicken or was it nice?
It was a twerkless ass.
I better
Hey,
go
when
and
you get the right underwear on, it's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, well, I got nothing else to say.
Okay, wait a minute. Blue Rod said, don't FBI cars have bulletproof glass? It's like, wait, he has a point. It should be bulletproof glass.
Yeah.
That means they're cheap.
this FBI on this show is stupid.
They're cheap.
Cheap.
Super cheap.
And on that note, I guess that is it. Oh, let's go to Charles's face. He's making a wonderful... Oh, no, it's just his picture. Well, everybody, let's just look at Charles for a little bit and this portrait. And let's reflect upon a wonderful episode, maybe not so wonderful episode. Let's look forward to next week and hope for a great episode. We can always hope. But that is it for us tonight. My name is Todd Grundle. And... as always, joined by Charles Whedon and the ever racist Isaiah Mullins.
Yup.
Now bearded. And his thumb was up. And that is the end of our show. Let's go back to Charles. Good night, everybody.